Hello, welcome to the Inside the Birds post-game show. I'm Geoff Mosher. I'm with Adam Caplan. And anybody out there who likes the Eagles have any fingernails left on their fingers? I'd be surprised at this point because, Adam, the Eagles, they do it again almost in reverse manner from week 3, where they had to overcome a 19-point deficit against the Rams to win. They try to avoid blowing an 18-point lead against the Bucs, but at the end of the day, they hold on, they win, they exercise their demons in Tampa and Raymond James Stadium. And, Adam, they're 4-0. And you can say what you want about the Eagles are certainly flawed. Every team is. But yet another example of the Eagles figuring out a way to pull it out in the end.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it looked hairy, certainly. The second half was a disaster, particularly offensively. After Kevin Petula called a brilliant first half, the conservatism came back in the second half. I mean, unfortunately, I jinxed myself to you and with our Patreon members on Discord. I said, Petula cannot get conservative, keep throwing the football. What did I say after last week's game? They got to stop doing this, come out and be aggressive against Tampa. They were to start the game. They scored 24 offensive points. Second half was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked a lot in the first half. Hurts was phenomenal in the first half. Petula was super aggressive, but they cannot be conservative. This has got to stop. This is a coaching issue from the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Nick did not have this best game of the year. Again with the bad penalties. I know it's not ticky-tack. It's the way the league is calling it. Nick has admitted publicly he took responsibility for the personal fouls. They did it again in the first half. Can't do that. If you want to celebrate, you have to celebrate away from the player. They know, they've been told that. There's a saying in coaching, if it's happening, you're allowing it.
Yeah.
That can't happen anymore. Number one. Number two, you have to tap your offensive coordinator on the shoulder and say, hey, throw the football. You can do that. Don't tell him what to call, but you got to tell him, start throwing the football.
Stay aggressive. Let's keep it up. Let's put our foot on the pedal. Let's not revert. Absolutely. Yes. That is a head coaching decision that is made all the time. And I agree with you, even on the foul issue or the taunting or personal fouls. The Eagles have quite a bit of them now. And I will say, I remember watching the Thursday night game between the Seahawks and the Cardinals, I think it was. And I think Kenneth Walker got flagged for a taunting, cost his team 15 yards. Yep. And the guy didn't play. It was first quarter. I don't think he took another rep until the third or fourth quarter. That was a statement by the head coach saying, which I'm sure doesn't just happen that day. It's the week of practice. Guys, the NFL is cracking down on this. We got to keep our emotions in check. We can't taunt. We can't spit. We can't, roughhouse. And you got to heed the message or else you have to hold players accountable. So I agree with you on that. The Eagles, I want to zoom out real quick here and just say something, because I think I wrote about this in my observations column on Philly Voice that I hope everybody reads. It was my first item. You can nitpick at a lot of things, but the Eagles have won 20 of their last 21 games. Okay. Now, you grew up in the Philadelphia area. I grew up around a lot of people from the area. You don't have to go back too long to hear your parents or your grandparents talk about how difficult it is to be an Eagles fan and all of the heartbreaking losses. And this franchise hasn't won a Super Bowl in 50, 51, then 52 years before they finally did it. Well, now this team is in the middle, Adam, of a stretch that is so enviable that it's hard to even fathom being an Eagles fan or follower and seeing just how good they've been for 21 weeks here. That's pretty impressive.
Well said. I'm glad you brought that up. But I don't think we're nitpicking. See, this is my issue with coaching. Control the things that you control. The stuff that you don't have control. Look, if the defense makes a great play, if you're being aggressive and make a deflection, okay, you can live with that. If you like, I have a couple other things which we'll get to as we get through their offense and the defense as we get through this. But I just wanted my opening statement or my opening thoughts is that I echo the people that feel like Sirianni and Petula, because it's Nick's offense and it's his decision in the end. Just be aggressive, because you've got this talent and the aggressiveness in the first half. I was like, wow, this is even better than I thought it would be. I didn't expect it. We could say after last week's game, this is what they need to do, and they do it. But they were so aggressive. I mean, the on the tush push play, the handoff to Hurts. I mean, to Barkley, I love it. The shovel pass. This is phenomenal. Like, I could have seen this. Like, this is phenomenal. Then, okay, second half, let's start running the football on first down. No. And guess what? It shot them in the ass. They almost blew the game.
Yeah, no, that is certainly not a nitpick for this game because it felt like the Eagles missed an opportunity to put their foot on the throat
They
of
control
the
that,
Bucs.
dude. They
Right. I think
that.
that's a very legit. I just meant when you look out on it over 21 games or the last few years, you can find little things here and there that but like the stretch of football that they've played would make people's grandparents and ancestors almost like roll over if they're deceased in their grave because they just never thought the Eagles could achieve this kind of win success.
And I want to add, and you brought this up to me. I totally forgot on our pregame show with Cosell. I brought up the game that they lost was Gardner Johnson getting thrown out. I forgot Hurts got hurt in that game in the first quarter against Washington.
Yes.
And they blew that lead. Yes. So I'm glad you remember that because they're listen, let me just, and I'm glad you brought this up. I want to be fair. Sirianni's a phenomenal head coach, but it doesn't mean we can't criticize him when it's warranted. This is sometimes a little bit of a higher level discussion about how coaches around the league see it. When you get a lead, there's this thing in your head, hey, don't blow this lead. Let's stay conservative, or let's just run the ball out. But here's the problem as we take to the next level here. They're a poor running team unless Hurts runs it. It's not Barkley's fault. We pointed out inside the tape that Jurgens and Dickerson are not playing at the level they need to. The interior of their line is not blocking well for the run game. So guess what? You have an option. You could throw the football. And Hurts was on such a roll. The marriage between Sirianni, Patullo, and Hurts was phenomenal in the first half. Mm-hmm. But I put this not on Hurts. Now we'll see what the tape looks like when you talk to Greg with our Patreon members. Andrew and I will be at Roosevelt Boulevard at the Chickies doing our radio show on Tuesday. But I just want to know. I know Greg doesn't like to criticize play calling, but from a conceptual standpoint, did he like what he saw on the tape? That I'd like to know.
Yeah, no, it seems like now you're waiting for him to figure it out and find the way to spring him. And I wrote this. I think we all thought that passing the ball more was going to open up lanes for Saquon and make it better for him to run. Like you pass to set up the run, while in the first 3 weeks they were running too much to set up the pass, right? So, but that clearly hasn't been the case because you couldn't pass the ball better in the first half than he was 15 of 16 in the first half. Jalen Hurts was, and the lanes still weren't there for Saquon. So now this has got to be something that they've got to strategically figure out. And I agree. I don't see anything different in Saquon. It may just be that the offensive line's not as massive without Mekhi Becton. It may be a bunch of different things. Who knows what it is, but it is something that they got to figure out. And I keep saying I don't think it's going to happen all year long. I do think a big Barkley breakout will come, but this also goes to show, and we said this in the offseason, it's very hard to have a season like Saquon Barkley had last year and then follow it up with the same exact or better season.
No,
that just doesn't happen. It's impossible.
Yeah, it will be the best season in NFL history through a Super Bowl, but
right.
Yeah, he'll get 1,000 yards. I don't know if even he'll get 1,200 at this point, but and look, that would be those would be the criticisms. The special teams, well, through the first half of this game, they were incredible. A blocked punt. Braden Mann was phenomenal in the first half. Second half, he had a couple of punts that were a little short. They had a coverage gaff. They got lucky on one because there was a holding penalty. But overall, if they won the game, you're absolutely right. 20 out of 21. I mean, this is just incredible football. I don't buy this thing though. Oh, Eagles fans are spoiled. No, they're not. They have enough information out there. They're getting smarter. They know when things could be even done better. There's things, again, you fumble the football, you drop it. Okay, that's a physical error. Or a missed block. There was a missed block by Steen in the second half. Okay, that's a physical error. That's not a coaching issue. But the things that coaches control, they have to do a better job. But again, they won the game. They will host the Broncos, who play on Monday night against the Bengals. But the Eagles have to feel pretty good about it. Another thing, they did have a couple injuries. Lane Johnson, again, with a shoulder. We don't know if it's stinger related, but it's shoulder. Jalen Carter's shoulder. Obo Okonkwo, they ruled him out immediately. That's unfortunate. With was it triceps? One of the.
Yeah, I think it was. Triceps.
Immediately,
at least Carter was able to make it back, thankfully.
Yes, yeah. So they're down, of the 7 edge rushers, are down to 5, and of course Ojulari. Boy, they really don't like Ojulari. When I say that, means when you're down, when you can't rush the passer well, and you already lost Nolan Smith for a minimum of 4 weeks or 4 games, and you don't have Ojulari, they're telling you they don't think he could help them right now. It's unfortunate.
Right.
He's got to be active next week. I mean, come on already. Their pass rush is poor. Come on.
Well, something's got to go on. We'll talk about that. We'll go inside the defense and talk about that. I want to get also into some of the offensive rhythm that was so great in the first half, but maybe not there in the second half. Let's pause real quick first to hear a word from our great sponsors.
Hey, you know that one guy in the group chat who hit a 5-leg parlay week 1 and he wouldn't shut up about it for the rest of the season? Sounds like Caplan, right? Yeah, it could be him. It could be you, and we would all want to be you. MyBookie makes it stupid easy to get in on the action, whether it's college ball, NFL, super contest, and survivor pools, all the spreads, player props, and in-game lines that you could want all under one roof. What more could you want than that? If you're new to MyBookie, use our code, THEBIRDS, THEBIRDS, THEBIRDS. Use the code, and any bet you choose up to $500 is fully covered. Make your play, and if it doesn't hit, you get it right back when you opt in using your bet back bonus token. There is no better time to jump in right now. No better place to play. Football is back. Let's make some money with MyBookie.
Hey, fall is planting season. Did you know that many plants and trees actually do better when planted this time of the year? But you got to know where to start, and that's why I love fastgrowingtrees.com. Doesn't matter if you live in the sunny south or if the air's getting a little chilly where you are, the plant experts can help you find the perfect fit for your space. They've got everything your yard needs: fruit trees, privacy trees, shrubs, flowering trees, so much more. And Fast Growing Trees makes it so easy for you to have your dream yard because you can order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door. If you're like me, you're tired of spending way too much money on landscaping. And if you walk into one of those nurseries and you look at all the stuff they have, you have no idea where to begin. That's why you need fastgrowingtrees.com. Doesn't matter about the size of your yard. They got over 6,000 plants to fit any space, and a 14-point quality checklist ensures you will get the best quality plants possible. This fall, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code BIRDS at checkout. 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code BIRDS at checkout. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use BIRDS to save today. The offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show. What I liked about the Eagles offense and where I think it flourished, and you hit this on the head, was sort of not only play calling, but play design. You mentioned the 2 touchdowns, right? And I do think that the experience that they've had against Todd Bowles helped in this game, because when Todd's going to blitz 5, 6, 7 guys at you, it's going to leave a lot of one-on-ones. And that's why I thought they were really smart to come out passing, and then not so much in the second half. But I will say Todd did a good job on his end. He stopped blitzing in the second half. He showed it, but then dropped, and he was getting decent enough pocket collapse with his 4-man rush. You saw Vea get some sacks and some pressure. You saw Logan Allen. Was it Logan? Is it Logan Allen? Logan Allen? Who's Logan Hall? Thank you. Get pressure. The edge guys, Yaya, were able to get pressure. And then that forced Jalen to have to go throw against a lot in coverage. And he just wasn't as comfortable as he didn't have the one-on-ones that he had in the first half. So you need to be able to counterpunch when the other team counterpunches itself. And I just didn't, it wasn't there. But again, I agree with you on they needed to pass more, but there was an adjustment. And we'll talk to Greg when he does Inside the Tape. It did look like the Bucs played into the Eagles' hands early by sending maybe 1 too many rushers, because you saw that 16-yarder to Devontae Smith. He was getting Barkley out in the flats. And Goddard. Goddard is always big for Jalen Hurts against the blitz. Remember the Packers game, wild card game last year. And Goddard being healthy and productive was really their most damaging part of their offense for the first half, because A.J. Brown didn't catch a pass until nobody cared about it because he was doing well, but A.J. didn't have a pass catch until under the 2-minute warning in the first half.
Yeah, Goddard was huge in the first half. He had his 2 touchdowns in the first half, the shovel pass, which is beautifully designed and executed. And then I love the play by Hurts on a 3rd and 6. Look at my notes here. There was a critical play in the first half.
Devontae, right?
Yes, I know that passing numbers are not good this season, but that's not what I'm talking about. He's done a very good job for the most part of maintaining his downfield focus. And if he doesn't, there's zero chance that play gets completed. He did, and he saw him and hit him on the left. Just a great play. I like how they used Mechie on that one play in the first half, which was really good.
Yep.
Now, the other thing, this bothered me, and I don't know why they did it. You got to have Cam Latu in line. They had Calcaterra as the Y tight end, Latu as the offset fullback. That's not going to work. It hasn't worked all season. I look at my notes here, and I know I'm being critical, but it doesn't work. Calcaterra cannot block in line. What else do they need to find out about this? It doesn't work.
It doesn't. You're right. It feels like they're trying to fool people, right? Like they're really not going to block with Calcaterra. Well, yeah, they are.
He's too light. He can't block in line.
Yeah.
Latu can block from as a fullback movement to the Y position. It's not. I'm sorry. I don't agree with it. They're not going to convince me otherwise.
So you think that he can help the team better offensively by moving back to tight end and being the Y tight end?
No, but it doesn't mean you can't use him as a fullback where it's worked. But Calcaterra can't block in line. I don't know. That one is I have it as a bullet point question mark. Like, at what point are they going to understand that it's not going to work?
Yeah, you used to be able to live with it a little bit. I think when Calcaterra was going to give you 5 or 6 catches for 45 yards in a game, but
Stoll's the Y.
Yeah,
Stoll was the Y. He's no longer here. He's with the Saints.
Right. Yeah, that's right. It's not a great situation there, and you wonder how long they'll continue to go with it. And maybe again, that when we talk about what are they going to do to figure out a way to spring Barkley better, to get him some better blocking up front, get bodies off of him. That could be the answer, Adam. Just getting whether it's Cam Latu or someone more capable of blocking than Grant Calcaterra.
Yep. And by the way, I love the way in the first half, 4 out of his first 5 plays were called pass plays.
Yep.
You got to love that. They threw the ball more than they ran it in the first half, which is what I was looking for. Aggressive. And then they came unbelievably predictable in the second half. This is hard to believe. You may or may not know this. Hurts did not have a single passing yard in the second half.
I know. He didn't complete a pass in the second half. I don't know if I've ever seen that from a team that scored 31 points and won a game.
I'm not absolving Hurts from, did he miss some? What the tape will tell us. We don't have to guess on that one. The tape's going to tell us everything we know. You and you'll talk with the Patreon group. The tier 3s will talk to Greg on Tuesday.
Right.
And I know we will have Greg's notes exclusively for Patreon members, tier 3. On Monday, we're going to probably do the offense first because I'm so curious. I think I'll post that first. I can't wait to see what Greg thinks. But I just thought Hurts was so damn good in the first half. I'm like, man, don't stop throwing. I'm sorry for keep bringing this up.
Yeah.
But it just bothers me. Coaches shoot themselves in the foot by getting too conservative. I've seen it for years. No matter what the team is, it's like you go into Tampa. Oh, geez, we haven't won there in a while. It was 2013 on that Monday night game. Well, last couple of times we've been there wasn't very good. Let's just get out of here with a win. Don't coach like that.
Yep.
Put them out of their misery. Just keep throwing and keep scoring. And now the other is in breakers. I don't. This is what I want to ask Greg. Well, you can ask Greg for us. They hit him with a bang 8. I think it was a crosser. It was a 3-step drop. That's usually a bang 8, where he just throws it across the middle. And they got him on that. AJ got it. But I wanted to see more in breakers, which we saw a little bit in the first half, but I don't remember seeing much in the second half.
Yeah. I'm very curious to hear Greg's breakdown because I don't know. There's got to be a counter for them when the defense starts to do something differently where they can still move the ball. And your point, the first play of the second half, I figured they were going to spread. I thought they were going to do something, creative, and it was a handoff to Barkley for -3. And then the second play is a sack by Vita Vea. So right away, the radar was up that something's not good. Something's not right. They had to punt it. They went 3. How many possessions it was that they went 3 and out in a row? 1, 2, 3 straight possessions that they went 3 and out. So not great. And clearly, and then of course in the fourth quarter, they had 2. So 5 altogether from in the second half were 3 and outs. That's almost unfathomable the way they were moving the ball in the first half, 15 to 16.
I know. I mean, he Hurts. It seemed like he had 200 yards. And I know it was only 130, but he was in such a rhythm. and Petula was in such a rhythm as a play caller. The Bucs had no answer.
Mm-hmm.
And Hurts was so good against the blitz. And I because we don't have access to the tape this early, we're not sure exactly, other than Bowles had enough. He's like, oh, this isn't working. You bring what I usually do against Hurts. He's killing us.
Right.
So we're going to back off, make him hold on the ball a little bit. And they didn't execute. So the coaches have some corrections to make. But as you said, look, they won the game. Bottom line is they won the game.
Yeah, I do want to bring attention to the offensive line, because I thought they actually, we've said that they haven't been themselves as much lately, but I thought they did an excellent job for the most part. There's a breakdown here or there. I know Steen got beat once and Dickerson got beat, but in general, against a team that came at you, I don't recall too many free. That's the thing with Todd Bowles and his blitzes, is he usually breaks down your scheme and gets a bunch of free rushers. I don't remember that. I think that they blocked it up pretty well from O-line to running back to tight end. And then some of those sacks that you saw in the second half, that was Hurts trying to find someone and run a little bit, and then took a few sacks from Vea. I don't think that was on the offensive line. I thought the offensive line did well.
Not in run blocking. They were terrible.
No, not run. But again, that seems to be like something different now.
Yes, they had 11 tackles for loss. That gives you the answers to the test.
Whew.
That's really embarrassing. I can't believe that they're this bad. And I know it's generally inside runs.
Yeah,
they're getting absolutely blown up. On your point you made earlier, which is a good one. I think it was actually the first play.
Yeah,
right up the middle.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm like, oh boy, this is okay. This, we'll see what happens. It's only the first play of the half.
Yeah,
and it got progressively worse. It was just the defense had to hold on. And another thing is, man, can we transition now to defense? Because it was
before we do that, let's just hear one last word from some great sponsors. Sports are all about competition. Every snap, every possession, every clutch moment matters. That same energy is what 1v1 Me brings to video games. Every single day, you can watch and stake on matchups in Madden, NBA 2K, FC, and Call of Duty Search and Destroy. All the games are streamed live. Every match has refs, and payouts are instant. And these aren't just random online lobbies. These are the best players in the scene, pros, streamers, and rivals. With season playoffs and the championship game on the line, every game matters. Over $100 million has already been paid out on the app, and the community is growing fast. If you're a sports fan, a gamer, or just someone who loves having a little extra on the line, 1v1 Me is where you need to be. It's not just about winning, it's about the bragging rights too. Every match has a chat going crazy, and you can back your picks in real time. Download today and use code BIRDS. Your first stake on the app is risk-free. That's code BIRDS for a risk-free first stake. Hey, Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly. With plenty of free parking, you'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting. And they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up.
I know that their pass rush has been mostly anemic this season. They've had to blitz more. As a coach, if it's not working, you got to swallow your pride and bring it. They had some quality rushes when they brought pressure. Guys are having a problem winning a one-on-one. The sim pressures, as you and I were talking about privately during the game, some of them really worked. I give them credit in this, that they made Baker Mayfield, now he didn't have Mike Evans, but he made him fidgety and rushed himself sometimes. Despite, Zach Bond had the rush, had the really nice sack. Ojomo had where he flattened him. He actually basically made him a pancake right up the middle.
Yep.
But look, they're still having trouble. They can't win with 4. It's just not going to happen. Not this season unless they make a trade.
Yeah, I think every third down, Vic either threw an extra man pressure or a sim pressure. I can't remember a single third down, unless it was like 3rd and 20 or something, where he just hit the Bucs with a 4-man rush. Like that's it. A conventional 4-man rush, because a sim or a creeper pressure is 4-man, but you're blitzing a linebacker, dropping an edge player usually. I think on literally every 3rd and medium or 3rd and short, there was some form of either sim pressure or extra man pressure, which is like the opposite of what you saw for several weeks, especially in the second half last year. So that just shows you, we talk about the training camp thing all the time. Remember how it's so deceiving? And Moro Ajomo was just a beast, and he did get a sack late in the game that was important, but again, that was on an extra man pressure. So you're going to get a one-on-one. They just have not had it from the edges. They haven't had it from the middle. But they are getting pressure because Vic is dialing it up. He's concocting.
He has to.
You just wonder how long. Like, can he do this and survive on it all year long, or do they need to figure out a way to get another edge?
And their run defense, the numbers aren't terrible, but they gave up. So they got crushed on misdirection. Some misdirection runs with Bucky Irving, who had some nice plays. Now, the negatives defensively would be now the play, the Ibuka touchdown. I mean, that's one of those, like, they both put their hands up. Was it Coop and Mitchell, or Coop and I can't remember who else it was.
On which play?
On the Ibuka 77-yard touchdown.
That would be Makuba and the safety, Blankenship, was it not?
Okay, whoever it was. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. That's they have to knock it down. Okay, they gave up the touchdown, but it wasn't like they got beat in coverage.
Right.
They got Irving.
It wasn't like a blown assignment, right?
Right. It wasn't like they were both there. It just got to knock it down. Then the Irving one, you got a running back on a linebacker. Running back wins. Okay. That's what happened. But here's what's problematic for me. Quinyon Mitchell made so many great plays in the game. There were 2 badly missed holds where he and Ringo got.
I know. That's the difference between when you're a star in this league and you get the calls, right? And then you're not. It's like when Michael Jordan would get every single call, but then when he would tap guys on the elbow when they shoot, and they would never call him for it.
They held so many times I lost count. I actually wrote down 6. 2 were so egregious, and I know that they'll send him into the league. It's not going to change it. You can't challenge a flag, so the game's over. But but you know what? Also, there are a couple plays that the Bucs could have been called for. But hey, as the saying goes, they didn't call it, so it's not a penalty. Or a couple of them were called. But defensively. Look, it's one of these things that we knew they had a pressure problem, which we talked about all offseason. One of my concerns was with Jalen Hunt's not ready to be a pass rusher. He clearly is not. He really shouldn't be starting, but they don't have anybody else right now who could rush the passer. And Za'DariusSmith, as we expected, started. We'll ask Greg what the tape looked like from his standpoint in terms of who got in at all. Did anyone get any pressure? Carter did not have a good game the previous week until late in the game. He definitely got hurt. Byron Young was there. You saw him play. Uche had a couple nice rushes, but they missed a couple where they got. I thought, and then the Baker scramble. Man, they have to get him, pull him down.
Well, sometimes you gotta tip your hat. Like that felt like Eli Manning in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I was wondering if Tom Brady was gonna say something.
See if Tyree's getting it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but hey, on that note though, Jihad Campbell, right? I know there are people who expect that Campbell will move to the edge when Nakobe Dean comes back to give the Eagles that edge pressure that we're talking about that they need. But I don't know, man. He is so valuable to their pressure scheme right now as a blitzer from the second level and in his coverage. I mean, he picks off Baker Mayfield at the most important juncture in the game. He had a huge hit on the Irving to help cause a fumble. Jalen Hunt was in there too.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Hunt didn't get enough credit because Hunt was also hitting him at the same time. But either way, like the way he and Bond are playing that second level right now at both elite levels, you can't take him out of there.
I know Bond's an incredible football player. I'm just an incredible football. This is one of the all-time Eagle stories. Certainly, for as long as you and I have covered this team, in the league. I've not seen anything like this before in this market. We've talked about Mailata, but that's a little Bond's been a football player his whole life, where Mailata hasn't been. But to do what he's doing in a position he's not familiar with is simply incredible. Bobby King, a great coach. Ringo, look, I'll tell you. Look, Mike Evans didn't play, and that obviously is a major factor. I'm not denying it. Obviously, it changed the way the Eagles could play them. But Ringo, for the most part, unless we're told otherwise, held his own. I thought he did a nice job. But we'll see what Greg thought he gave up, and other sources who grade the tape for us. Let's see what they thought. But it wasn't a disaster. That we absolutely know.
Yeah, he held his own, and he held a little bit of Chris Godwin, a little too much of Chris Godwin.
Hey, you know what? They got away with some. Now it's on tape. They're going to look for it. The rest will look for it. But the bottom line is, it was not a disaster. I'm sure Eagle fans were coming in like, we know Evans isn't playing, but they got Godwin back. They targeted the hell out of him, but they held him to 3 for 26 with 10 targets. That's a great job by Najee when he was on him. Ibuka, okay, the one big play, other than that, he didn't do anything. So there were a lot of good stories defensively. Now, they almost choked it, but at the end, the offense handed the defense the job to win the game, and they did.
100%. Now, you got what the Eagles turnover, they've had a turnover in every single game so far, and all of them have seemed to have been like monumental when they happen. You go back to week 1, the Miles Sanders fumble, right? As they were deep in the Eagles territory there. It felt like they were going in with all the momentum. Then he fumbled. Week 2, Travis Kelce, Makuba picks off the pass that Travis drops as he's trying to go in to the end zone. And then, of course, the Rams, you get the opening drive interception that stakes them to a lead, which was really important at that time because they were about to go through a really rough stretch of offense. And then 2, obviously, in this game that are absolutely huge. So I think that this has been a very, I don't want to say underrated because we talk about it, but all 4 of their wins this year have come by a combined 20 points. All 4 have been by 1 possession. And if you go back and look at those 20 of 21 wins that they've had, almost 60 to 70% of them are by 1 possession or, 8 points or fewer. So these turnovers are coming in. They're just so bad. I know coaches say that if you win the turnover battle, and especially on the road, you'll win like 75% of the games. Well, the Eagles are showing you can win like 95% of the games by doing it. It's been unbelievable.
Hurts again, clean game, didn't turn it over.
Right.
They'll continue to work with them and figure out what's going to take to play complete game offensive, not one elite half in 2 different games. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Right.
But again, they won it. There's a lot to feel good about. We know what the issues are. They're the same as we've told you all off season. Pass rush and corner opposite Mitchell. But again, Ringo held his own. We thought he also had the fumble recovery, which is big. Give him credit for that. We know he's an elite special teams player. But how he's chore to the trade deadline is find some team that's really bad that's willing to give them. I know it's a lot to ask for, but Howie loves trading draft picks.
Sure.
Find some pass rusher. If you got to give, you could give away draft picks. Some young player you're not going to use. They need they need a corner badly. I know you could be patient. They have 3-4 weeks to evaluate this till the trade deadline, but
sure.
They are 4-0. You got to feel good about that. They have an interesting schedule coming up here, but the bottom line is they knocked the Bucs off. They won in Tampa, which has always been difficult for them. Right now, the undefeated teams are the Bills, the Colts, as we speak. Again, because we're getting the show up quickly. The Eagles and the Niners. That's it, man. Wow, that tells you, man. Eagles are really, really good. I'm glad you brought up what they've done because we lose track sometimes when we're critical of how great this football team is and how well they're coached. It's never going to be perfect. No team is out of 32, but they have some things they internally are in charge of and can clean up. There's no question.
Yeah, you got to cherish it while you got it. It's not going to last forever, but it could last for a really long time here, and it's been about 2 years, and we will see where that takes the Philadelphia Eagles this week. We're going to have great coverage, of course, DeCecco Dailies, and we're going to have Birds Weekly with Ray Didinger and Derek Gunn. We'll have our WBCB show on Tuesday night. We'll have, what else we got? Inside the Tape with Greg Cosell in 2 parts. So a whole lot of great content inside the data with Sam Finkel. So make sure you're staying tuned here to the Inside the Birds platform. That's going to do it for Inside the Birds post game. For Adam Caplan, I'm Geoff Mosher. We'll catch you on the next one.